What is identity? What do you call yourself? Who are you? What is your name? If you have an answer, that is what we call identity. Remember, we made a video talking about when your life is changing. That video was an illusion. In all reality, there is nothing here. Samsara. What is Samsara? Finally, we make the big video. The big video that I've waited months to make. In understanding Samsara, I have the ability to articulate it in a way that is fully graspable. So open up your minds, my friends, as I lead you down this journey of insanity. Because what is insanity, my friends? As Voss said from Far Cry 3, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting something different to happen. Why do we expect something different to happen if we do the same things over and over again? Is it the belief of compound results? Is it the belief of the grind will send you somewhere? Because in all reality, it probably won't. To do the same thing over and over again is to live in samsara. It is to live in the perpetual state of life, death, and rebirth over and over and over again until we come to the realization that everything we see is all up here. It's all been up here. At no point in time in your life is there a moment where up here isn't your reality versus my reality versus the reality of every being that is cognizant. I always stutter with this word specifically. When you are cognitively aware, that means you say, I am, this is, that is, we are. The ability to shape a state of being within other beings is in the understanding of consciousness. To understand is to know. I've said this many times. To understand is to know, and to know is to no longer understand, because it's always shifting. It is always changing. The paradigms and the way that you understand life is always different. And there's some random guy out here yelling, look at him, there he goes. Because no matter how deep I go, no matter how much I try and help you understand, it's just gonna go in one ear and out the other, because that is how consciousness works. You're either aware or you're not. And if you're aware that you're not aware, that leads to the ability to become aware. And if you become aware of your awareness, you have the ability to grow this. You have the ability to become aware. You have the ability to understand the fundamental laws of the universe and how it works. And how it works. But does it matter? See, that's a personal question for you. Does it matter? Does it really matter? Does it matter what happens after you die? Only you can answer that question. Some people say that it matters. People say and claim to be charitable. Some people say and preach and pray, and still they do the same exact thing that they don't preach. You have to practice what you preach, everybody, because practicing what you preach is what gives you your power. To say one thing and then do another, that's going against your own word. Now, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because good and bad is subjective. What's good for you isn't what's good for me, and what's bad for you isn't what's bad for me. We're still human. We still make mistakes. And in making mistakes, we have the ability to correct the mistakes. But what is samsara? What does this have to do with samsara? I've been giving you guys the answers, but in understanding, giving you the answers doesn't give you the answers. This gives me the ability to teach on a new level. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where unless you see something flashy on screen, your brain tunes it out. Why is this? Is it deliberate? Is it a disease? Is it malignant? Was this something that was set up a very, very long time ago by very, very powerful people because they didn't want people like you and me to understand that it's all one big circle anyways? What would that happen to the world if everybody was to know what it is? Well, people would lose their damn mind. Of course they would lose their mind, because people hold on to things that they never had any control over whatsoever. Who are you? What is your name? What is your identity? And does it matter? For some of you, it does. It matters so much, and so many of you say you care and you want to figure yourself out, yet you already know what the answer is. You already know where to find the answer if you say you don't know where the answer is. And it's always been with you the whole time. Some people are saying, I know what it is. Some people can put a name to it, but for all sake and purposes, let's just say it like this. To go within is to have everything. To go without is to have nothing. You only have what you are able to project out into the world. What is it that you project out into the world, ladies and gentlemen? Insert Fuomoko. Identity. Identity. Music. Music is the one thing that transcends the boundaries of human speech. What music are you listening to? Because music shapes who you are. Why? Because music is the window to the soul. What does that mean? The things that you like to do is something that you can say that you are. And when you say you are something, that leads you to think you have a way to connect to other human beings. Because we are social creatures. We don't want to be left out. We don't want to be alone. We don't want to be by ourselves. But with you being by yourself, you have the ability to grow yourself. Every human being that's ever wanted to take themselves to a more personal development have always stayed in solitude. But staying in solitude too long, you have no ability to bounce your ideas. What does that have to do with Samsara? Oh my goodness. Why do I have to keep reminding you of today's subject? Because it's so complex, ladies and gentlemen. Because it is so complex. Because it's forever shifting. And it's always going to move around because it's not stagnant. So you have to be able to flex this. You have to be able to understand this. You have to also balance it with the world. Because everything is shaped from here, including your environment. But your environment shapes who you are. Why? Because there are forces within your environment that understand themselves more than they understand what it is that you understand yourself to be. You know what this means? It means you need self-development. It means you need to become real with who you are. It means you need to put down things that stop you from being your authentic self. Because unless you don't, you will never know. And if you don't know your authentic self, you poor soul. If you do not go within, you will go without. And if you go without, you will be stuck in samsara for eternity. That means forever and ever. That means forever, ever, forever, ever, never say ever, ever. That's a long ass time, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy not having to worry about such things, which is exactly why you don't really care. You don't care, because if you cared, well, you would do better, of course. But not only that, you would encourage others to do better. You would tell your homie, hey man, stop hitting your girl. Hey man, none of my business though. What does that have to do with samsara? Brother, are you listening? It has everything to do with samsara. The entire fundamental laws of reality is understandable through samsara. Samsara is not the only one. I'm not saying it's the only one. I'm not saying it's the end all be all either, because that is how samsara works. It always changes, and it's always different things, and it's always doing its thing. And that's just the word we use for it. That's the name we give it. But the name in itself is fluctuating and changing because it itself is always fluctuating and changing throughout different states of time, different time periods, and it means different things to different people of different cultures and different backgrounds and different everything. How do you know this? Communication. You talk about it with other people. The deep conversations, the hard conversations, not just, hey man, what'd you think about the game last night? Oh man, did you hear that that new album that came out? Oh man, did you play that new game? Oh man. We don't care about any of this deep stuff. We only care about entertainment, which is why we get to go around the world. We get to learn. We get to bounce the ideas and perspective off amazing individuals that I get to meet on a daily basis. Why is that? That's just personally how I like to envision my life. And since I envision it this way, I get to live it this way. What does that mean? It means the entire world that you believe in is real to you because you created it, my friend. You created it. But it wasn't just you, right? Because you were influenced by your environment. What does that mean you have to do? In all honesty, it doesn't mean you have to do anything, because at the end of the day, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it, which is why Samsara is so powerful, why it will consume, and it will consume for a very, very long time. And even though amazing prophets have came down into this world and has explained everything several times, we still end up in the same situation. But on top of that, we have legitimately corrupt and evil individuals that run the world, and they will forever keep you consumed in the bullshit. Why? Because they have some type of gain. Because people don't really do stuff unless they really gain anything, unless you're authentically yourself, and authentically you just enjoy being a decent human being, living in the human perspective. And that's not everybody. Because some people on this earth are wicked, but some people on this earth are just having a good time. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and if you learned something, hit the like button. Maybe you subscribe. Oh man, it's been a long journey to make this video. I had to meet many mentors, talk to many masters, and just talk to many individuals in general to be able to understand what I understand now. And I hope you learned something. And if you did learn something, comment your favorite part. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Good luck out there. Maybe I'll see you on the other side. Peace.